Expecting Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be nice, right? Understand? He's done a poor job. Crime is up, a lot of problems. And I don't think he should be criticizing a representative of the United States that can do so much good for the United Kingdom. We talked about it before. But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you regards.
Trump demands Starmer open up the North Sea and get rid of windmills. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Katie Hopkins exposes the real reason behind Trump's ultimatum and why it's left Starmer out in the cold. Prepare for a deep dive into the power dynamics shaping our political future.
Get rid of the windmills. You need to frack, which is essentially what he's saying. I think people around this country will think, good on Trump. Starmer has failed to prosecute gangs that groomed and raped girls. This is such a strong statement.
There's a game plan here, I think. You know, I mean, look at, if you think he's been in power now for 6 months, Starmer, and look at how many failings we've seen.
Keir Starmer's political career has become a masterclass in how not to navigate the treacherous waters of modern politics. His attempts to be all things to all people have left him adrift with no real allies to speak of. It's a classic case of trying to please everyone and ending up pleasing no one. Starmer's strategy seems sensible on paper. He aimed to bridge the gap between left and right, hoping to unite a divided country. But in the rough and tumble world of politics, being reasonable isn't always enough. Sometimes you need to take a stand, even if it means ruffling a few feathers. Take his approach to US relations, for instance. Starmer tried to walk a fine line, criticizing Trump's handling of the Black Lives Matter protests while still emphasizing the importance of maintaining a relationship with the US.
The reality is this. The moment for decisive action is now. We've got to seize the new opportunities. We can cut bills, create jobs, and provide energy security for Britain. That's what a Labour government will deliver. On the 28 billion, we are doubling down. We're not backing off. So there's nothing here to read into any sense of lacking ambition or backing down. The Labour Party is today launching a plan for the next generation of jobs, whilst the Tories are squabbling back in Westminster. The SNP are preaching about promises that they have broken.
It's a balancing act that's left him teetering on the edge of irrelevance. Trump, a man not known for his forgiving nature, has clearly taken note of Starmer's lukewarm support. But it's not just international relations where Starmer's fence-sitting has come back to haunt him. His Brexit stance has been about as clear as mud, managing to alienate both Remainers and Leavers. It's a remarkable achievement to disappoint both sides of such a contentious issue, but Starmer has managed it with aplomb. And then there's the thorny issue of immigration. Starmer's refusal to take a strong stance on this hot-button topic has left voters scratching their heads. What does he actually believe? Does he even know himself? His vague, non-committal approach has led many to question whether he has any real vision for the country's future. This diplomatic tightrope walk has left Starmer in a precarious position. He's isolated, with neither Trump nor the British public fully trusting him. His attempts to appeal to a broad audience have backfired spectacularly, leaving him without any genuine political allies. It's a stark reminder that in politics, sometimes it's better to have a few staunch supporters than a sea of lukewarm admirers. Starmer's cautious approach may have seemed sensible initially, but it's ultimately exposed his weakness both at home and abroad. His failure to connect with powerful figures like Trump, while also struggling to resonate with the British public, raises serious questions about his effectiveness as a leader in today's rapidly changing political landscape. Trump's approach to international relations relations is turning the diplomatic world on its head. Gone are the days of carefully crafted statements and polite handshakes. In Trump's playbook, loyalty trumps titles, and bold statements outweigh diplomatic niceties. Let's take a closer look at Trump's recent moves in UK politics. His decision to invite Nigel Farage, a man without an official position in the government, while snubbing the current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, sends a clear message. Trump values unwavering support and political alignment over traditional diplomatic relationships. This isn't just about personal preferences or petty grudges. Trump is redrawing the lines of international diplomacy. He's signaling to world leaders that if they want to be in his good graces, they need to adapt to his style of politics. It's a stark departure from the usual diplomatic dance, where even adversaries maintain a veneer of civility. Remember when Trump called London's mayor a stone-cold loser? That wasn't just Trump being his usual brash self. It was a preview of how he'd treat UK politicians who don't align with his views. Trump's consistent criticism of renewable energy projects, such as wind turbines in the North Sea, isn't just about energy policy. It's about drawing a line in the sand, separating those who support his vision from those who don't. Trump's invitation to Farage speaks volumes about this new political order. Here's a man who's been out of power for years, getting the VIP treatment while the current PM is left out in the cold. It's a power play that goes beyond personal relationships. Trump is reshaping how international relations work, expecting world leaders to prioritize loyalty and strong stances over diplomatic pleasantries.
Comrades, my name is Keir Starmer, and I'm here to fuck the foundations. When I became your Prime Minister, not only did I get new hair and glasses provided by a donor who now has full access to 10 Downing Street and my bedroom, we were promised 3 things.
Keir Starmer says he's prepared to make some unpopular decisions, but beware of this, it's a sleight of hand.
Keir Starmer is frickin' fully Kim Jong-Starmer, isn't he? The Modernisation Committee will look at the advantages of outside paid engagement such as media appearances.
This shift in dynamics is forcing politicians worldwide to reassess their approach. Do they stick to the traditional diplomatic playbook and risk being sidelined? Or do they adapt to Trump's style, potentially alienating other allies in the process? It's a delicate balance that many are struggling to maintain. Katie Hopkins, a vocal supporter of Trump's approach, sees this as a calculated move to reward loyalty. She argues that Trump's rejection of Starmer and embrace of Farage illustrates a new political landscape where bold statements and unwavering support are prioritized over traditional diplomatic nicety. In her view, Starmer's perceived weakness and lack of alignment with Trump's brand of politics have left him out in the cold. In this shifting political landscape, Starmer's middle ground approach is looking increasingly out of touch. Experts suggest that as the political climate becomes more polarized, leaders who take bold, unapologetic stances are gaining traction. Starmer's inability to connect with powerful figures like Trump isn't just a personal slight, it's a glaring weakness that exposes his vulnerabilities both at home and abroad. The days of diplomatic fence sitting may be numbered. As we hurtle towards a more divided political world, Starmer's cautious strategy could become a relic of the past. The question isn't just whether he can adapt, but whether his entire political philosophy is still relevant. In Trump's world, diplomacy alone doesn't cut it anymore. You need to pick a side and stand your ground. Starmer's attempts to please everyone have left him pleasing no one. It's a stark reminder that in this new era of politics, playing it safe might be the riskiest move of all.